morning. My name is Jordan Skinner. I represented the Southwest Edgecombe High School this past summer at ECU Health, representing the big game tonight, so I had to show my colors. Before I get started, I want to say thank you to STEP for allowing me to do this, Southwest Edgecombe High School for allowing me to do this, Edgecombe County Schools, and one of the best, I guess, community partners, you could say, ECU Health, for the opportunity for me to do this past summer. So, just to start, I was asked to do this, I think on maybe end of May, to be a part of this STEP program. I didn't know what it was about, didn't know what it entailed. And then when I met with Ms. Vivian, she said, hey, I'm thinking about ECU Health. I said, how do I put my content with a hospital? Because if, to ask you, if I say the word hospital, what's one of the first things you think of in general? If you were to say, you might say doctors, you might say nurses, you might say emergency room. And that was the biggest three that I thought of. And I said, how do I tie that into my curriculum and what I want to do? But it was very interesting to see how it all planned out. So over the 4 days I was there, I was able to talk to about 20 people from these different departments, ranging from human resources to the leadership team. I was able to sit down with the CEO, really cool guy, very laid back. The information technology team, the facility team. I was in the ER for a couple of days, not for me personally, but just to be, there, just to observe. And it was just a really cool experience to meet the people. As some of you said, with your own organizations, it was like a family atmosphere, and even there, you could see it and you could feel it. So it was really awesome to just be a part of that. So what did I learn? Before I get to the students part, hospitals were more than doctors and nurses, as stated earlier. It is a team effort. It's almost like a brain. When one part of that brain doesn't work, it's like the whole brain doesn't. And so from a finance standpoint, all the way to emergency room, to quality control, they all have to work together. Community hospitals don't have all the capabilities of a regional. I was there talking to the different people, and they said, hey, if a patient comes in and they are really bad off, we don't have the resources we need to really take care of them long term. But we do what we can to stabilize them, and then they get sent off to Vidant Medical in Greenville. And the cool thing is, I saw a helicopter take off, and I said, hey, how long does it take? They said, how long do you think? I was like, I want to make 10 minutes. They're like 7. So that's pretty cool for just to hear that. And ECU Health is all about the patient. One thing that I really took away from it, and just, some of you may have the same idea, with some hospitals and their partnerships, you might just hear it's just a title. But being at the Tarboro Hospital, being with ECU Health in Tarboro, you saw it wasn't just an ECU name to it. They definitely had all the resources there. One of the cool things about it, I was able to be a part of their 1230 roundtable, is what they call it, where all the doctors, all the respiratory therapists, the head nurses in different departments, they meet and they talk about each individual patient, including the pharmacy, and just see, what's the prognosis is, where are they going next, what's the next step, how do we get them, to the best care they need. So just a really cool experience to just hear the collaboration of different individuals and their perspectives. So, project-based learning, obviously the goal wasn't to take something from the hospital back to the classroom. And so I kind of struggled a little bit to say, what do I do with this? Where do I go? And so the biggest focus that I had was during a conversation with Ms. Amy Dixon, who was Director of Marketing and Volunteer Services for ECU Health. And so during the meeting, she mentioned something called the Community Health Needs Assessment, basically which is an assessment that Edgecombe County does to highlight the different medical factors as well as socioeconomic factors in the Edgecombe community area. And we're talking about anything from STDs to child abuse to incarceration rates to poverty, all of that. And so when she mentioned that, I said, hey, can I get a copy of that document? So she gave me the recent one, which I believe was 2019, 2018. But I was able to go online and find the recent one released of 2022. Now, granted, this wasn't years of 2021 and 2020 because it takes a couple years to put this assessment together. But I did have the most recent one. So I took it back to the classroom, and I was able to, or my students were able to go over that document. And another cool thing, they didn't really just highlight the cancer or heart disease or even high blood pressure, diabetes. They really did stuff that was near and dear to their heart. And you'll see that at the very end of the presentation. driving question, basically dealing with my curriculum, was what marketing strategy could ECU Health use to shed light on the health concerns of Edgecombe County? I didn't tell you before, I do teach a business class. And so we just got done talking about the marketing side within a business setting. And so how could we highlight those health factors? And so I gave students a choice. You could create a marketing plan based on a Google Doc highlighting how you would put your health factor to the community, how you would shed light on that factor. And then others, I said, hey, you can make a flyer through Canva. And I didn't know how good they were with Canva, but those kids rocked it. Like I said, I'll show you some of their stuff at the end. And so that was the driving question. And so I also made it personal. I said, why does this matter? Why am I showing you numbers? Why am I showing you figures about this? And obviously most of the students in my class are from Tarboro. They know the health concerns that are near and dear to their heart because they've been affected by it within their family or their own selves. They also know the health risks of their teenagers. And then obviously this assessment, they're just one small piece of the bigger pie, if you will, in Edgecombe County. And so with that, I just want to read just a couple of statistics based off of what they went with, based off their final products. So there's just two of them. These were created through Canva. As you can tell, one of them was big on child abuse. And so if you didn't know, throughout the whole years beginning in 2015 all the way to 2018, Edgecombe County beat out Eastern North Carolina counties and the state of North Carolina in their cases of child abuse reported. The highest was 2017, and then it dropped from 18.3% for every 1,000 populations to 11.6. But either way, we beat out North Carolina and Eastern North Carolina counties for that. And so a lot of students went with the child abuse effect for that factor. So the next one we'll talk about was STDs. Students were very, I want to say, surprised with some of this, just with the different diseases. The first one being just highlight was the chlamydia. Out of 500 people, 45.71%, which is about the 500 people. So again, this is like in the assessment data, and some of the numbers could be skewed because not everybody reports those types of diseases either. Some of us try to deal with them on their own. And so that was two big ones that was really highlighted by them. So again, I asked them to market that event. So I said, hey, you come up with a random date, you come up with a random time, have it at ECU Health Center in Tarboro. And so that's what one group did on the far right-hand side through Canva. Again, you got child abuse. And then the next one, again, two more, just dealing with child abuse. One said wear blue for the whole month of April, different areas. And then another one did the same thing at a different location. So again, I put the ball in their court to be creative, to come up with their own way of doing things. And so they definitely went with it. So I was very proud of them and their work. So again, thank you to